Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of You Are the Guide. New week, new Monday, new episode. And this week, we are continuing with the journey of the North Nodes. We're actually going to be talking about the North Node in Cancer, or anybody that has the North Node in their fourth house. You will also feel that some of the themes that we're about to talk about may apply to you. Now, for anybody that was born on any of these dates that you see here on the screen, that means that your North Node is in Cancer. Now, if you are listening to us on the podcast online, like you're not watching the video, I do want to share with you the dates. And I will say I am sharing a lot of this information from the book Astrology for the Soul. This is an amazing book by Jen Spiller. If you haven't read it, I highly encourage you to do so. So if you were born at any time between December the 24th of 1962 to August the 25th of 1964, or September the 25th of 1981 to March the 16th of 1983, or on April the 10th of 2000 all the way to October the 12th of 2001. And lastly, the babies that were born on November the 7th of 2018 to May the 4th of 2020. All of those are people that were born on the North Node in Cancer. And remember, the North Node is the journey of what your soul wants to discover in this life. Many people also see it as your journey of maturity in this life, like the flavor of the experiences that you want to get to. And also, I see it as the destination. If there was, the soul of your journey was a journey arriving at a destination, the North Node would be that end place to where you want to be. Something that I like to say, remember that everything that you're about to hear is just information. If you really want to take from it an experience, as you're listening to this information, pay attention to what you feel in your body. Stay connected with your breath. Believe it or not, all of that allows the information to go deeper into your nervous system, and it can awaken within you kind of like your own intuition of what you want to do with this information. I hope that it's actually helpful for you and not just something that you're hearing. But something beautiful about the journey of Cancer in the North Node is that it means that the South Node is in Capricorn. We do know that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the planet of hard work, of achievements, of wanting to be someone, of accomplish something in life. This means that you've spent either a lot of lifetimes doing this, or maybe in this lifetime, right away, very early on, maybe unfortunately, you had to take a lot of responsibility in your life. This means that your essence is to naturally feel responsible for everything. You feel that you are the ones that you need to be in charge. You need to be the one making decisions. You need to be the one fixing the problems from everybody around you. And it puts you in a place of almost like mixed emotions. Why? Because you like it. You have experience doing this. So there is a part of you that says, I know how to take charge. I know how to take control. But as a result, you have become distant of actually connecting with people. In order for you to be an effective leader and you're able to take action and be responsible, you've had to put a wall. And you've been disconnected from your emotions and the emotions of others. Something that I hear a lot from Cancer North Node people is that emotions actually, like the topic of it, maybe even listening to this, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. Like showing love to your siblings, to your loved ones could also feel uncomfortable. Saying I love you, you're like, oh, why? Why are we going there? And if you feel this, there's no judgment. There's nothing wrong with you feeling this way. That is what you're here to discover. I want to read to you some of the attributes that you are ready to leave behind. And in a moment, I'll read to you what you're here to discover. So some of the tendencies or the attributes that you want to leave behind is needing to control everything and everyone because you want to be in charge. This does not come from a negative place. You don't have bad intentions. You care. in your way, in your own way, and that leads for you to want to take charge and be in control. But then that kind of puts you in a place where you're always trying to be in control, and we know that that doesn't work. Now, compulsion to take charge without fully knowing what's going on. You may not even know what the full issue is. You don't even know if you are needed in the situation, but you're already finding a solution. Ignoring the process and being too focused on the goal because you like to be respected and you like to accomplish things. You have a drive to be successful. Within you. Like you don't even have to try. This can lead for you to not always enjoy the process and you're only focused on the end result, which leads you to be disconnected from others. Feeling completely responsible of everything, hiding feelings and fears in intimate relationships because emotions can make you sometimes, not for everybody, but because they could make you a little bit uncomfortable, you rather not share with those people closest to you what you're actually feeling. And they may perceive it. Sometimes they may know that you're not being fully honest. And once again, your intentions don't have to be bad. It's not that you want to hide things from them, is you may not know how to express yourself. Doing things to gain respect and admiration. You might find yourself being like, oh, I don't care about that. I don't want to do it. But if it's going to give me respect and it's going to make me feel accomplished, I'm going to do it anyway, which can lead you to feel burned out. Taking care of others' feelings and neglecting your own. So maybe some of you are able to connect to the feelings of others, but you will not talk about how you feel. If somebody else is crying, if somebody else is not feeling well, you'll be like, what do you need? Can I help? But you're not paying attention to how you feel and what you may need. Doing what is socially acceptable rather than what is totally honest. That is a big one. And thinking that things have to be difficult in order for them to be important. That's a big one as well. Thinking that things have to be difficult in order for them to be important. Because you are kind of like a problem solver. Remember, Capricorn is more of a masculine energy, action. I take action. I feel the responsibility. That energy, even if regardless of your gender, the masculine energy that you have pushes you to always be looking for the next thing that you want to resolve. And it can lead from you not necessarily feeling here and in the reality of what's actually going on. And that leads you to think that life is hard. Like there's always problems. Like because you're so focused on being the one that resolves the problems, you're always looking out for the problems. So life feels difficult and hard. And when something is easy, like it's not respectable. Like that's too easy. Why are we doing that? And that in a way can also limit you. What you really want, like your true desire if you're just sitting there with your natural essence, is that you want to be in control, because control to you may represent, I am going to be more efficient at completing everything that needs to be completed. You care about people. It's within you to care about others, but the way that you show it is sometimes by fixing their problems and almost thinking like, oh my God, why don't they get it together? I guess I have to fix it. And not allowing people to live their own experiences. You may, and once again, remember, take from this what feels aligned to you. It may not be the case for everybody, but you may consider emotions, if you consider them uncomfortable, you may see them as a problem. So the moment people around you show emotion, you want to fix it. And it may not be in the most like gentle way. It may be in the most like efficient. How can we fix this? Why are you crying? But not in the how do you feel? Because there's a difference there. Hey, what's going on? What do you feel? Or like, let's fix this problem so you can stop crying. Both people care, but one is not acknowledging the person and what they're experiencing in that moment. But this is the thing, you have a very natural and innate ability to care for others. That is why your soul, it has fixed everybody's problems. It knows how to be efficient. It knows how to overcome problems. it's in this lifetime, it wants to learn to care for the person, your emotions, and other people's emotions. So you may be faced with a lot of experiences that bring that out. So the attributes that you want to develop in this lifetime are noticing and validating feelings, yours and other people's, empathy, nurturing and supporting others, building one's own foundation and security. So you're focusing on what can help you feel that you're building your own foundation. And this has to do everything with the fourth house. The fourth house is the house of home in astrology. So in this life, your soul is finding how to feel at home with being human and both sides of it. The side of the masculine, which takes action, which resolves problems, and the side of the feminine, which connects with emotions, which cares for how people feel, which nurtures. You don't want to abandon one to find the other. You're here to discover both. And it's actually beautiful because it really means that the more that you experience life, the more at home you will feel here on this earth. As weird as it sounds, and with all the crazy stuff that's going on, you will get there. At some point, you will be, I feel at home, because you will be your own home, because there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to run away from, and every emotion is beautiful because it allows you to experience life. Now, you're here to be honest and disclose your feelings and insecurities. Your power now comes from acknowledging your vulnerability and what you actually feel. We know you can resolve the issues. We know you can be in control. You have that. You will not lose that. But it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to sometimes say, I'm tired, or I need a hug, I need a break, or it didn't go as I wanted to, or I failed. Whatever the case, it's okay to acknowledge that and feel it, because you will notice that it will empower you. You're here to discover humility, accepting others' moods and changes of moods. You no longer see it as limiting to, like, oh, they're moody. It's like, oh, they're feeling something. I care. Like, I want to be there for them. And staying centered in your own feelings, even though you will develop a very sensitive ability to connect with the emotions of others, and you will care. You're not here to save anybody. That's not your role. You're here to find home being centered in your own emotions. For the Cancer North Node people, or if you have your North Node there, all of those things that you hear about somatic healing, learning to sit with your emotions, learning about emotions, the different emotions, are things that will be useful for you. And if you don't find an interest in that now, at some point in life you may find an interest in it. So studying it or learning it can be very helpful for you, because you don't want to allow emotions to hold you down. It's more about how can you develop a good relationship with them. When it comes to past lives, people with the North Node in Cancer had many, many lifetimes where you were in a monastery or a very religious place where there were a lot of rules. Everything was structured. There were rules. If you followed the rules, you were celebrated, and you like that. You learn to thrive and be respected and be acknowledged and advanced in something because of what you accomplished. But as a result of being, let's say, in a monastery, you were not with family. You were not just in a regular family environment, getting to know the ups and downs of mom's emotions, dad's emotions, everybody's emotions. So you've been distant from that. It's not natural for you to understand why is everybody feeling so much and not doing that much. And another thing is that through this perspective, being separated and always doing hard work taught you to suppress what you felt, even your natural human desires, sexuality, like I said, feeling an emotion, being in love, all of those things. No, there's no time for that. We're doing things. So now you want to discover that, but it can make you feel a little bit like, "Oh, I don't want people to know that I have a sexual desire or that I have feel whatever emotion." And learning to understand that there's nothing wrong with that and that you are human is very healing for you, because an emotion that can come up a lot is shame. And shame makes us want to hide, it makes us want to put a wall and suppress more. So that can be another thing to pay attention to. And this leads to the same thing. You care about respect, but the respect that is earned from hard work. And let's say you did spend many lifetimes, or even in your years growing up, where your parents celebrated you and said, good boy, good girl, when you did the right thing and you got the good grades and you did the work and you did your bed. You were not loved for existing and being you. You were loved for accomplishing and doing the right thing. That led you to want more of that respect. So there is a part of you that is used to being in the spotlight. You know what it feels like to feel accepted when you do something right, and you may crave that. That's why you don't fear hard work. You may be okay working 12 hours a day. It's like, why not? Like, if that's going to lead me to my goal, why would I not do that? Once again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know how to do that. You're an expert at it. You're a master at it. How can you learn the other side? That is the big question for you, regardless of your gender. Remember, is how I mastered a lot of the masculine energy. How can I start tapping into the feminine? How can I start tapping into that uh, part of me that may even want to just stop and slow down, just to see what you experience on the way? I invite you to ask yourself, how do I feel? What do I feel? And start connecting with your emotions. First, start with you before you even get involved with other people, because you want to normalize within yourself figuring out what are the emotions that you feel the most. Like, are you somebody that expresses emotion by feeling anger all the time? Is that like your mood, where people go like, oh, she or he, they're always angry, they're irritated all the time? Or are you a person that feels, like I said, a lot of shame, and you kind of hide behind a lot of being funny and like, haha, like always denying emotions but being super funny, so that way, you're kind of like hiding behind that facade? Or are you just serious, somebody that, like, actually people say, we don't know if he or she has emotions, like they're always serious, and if somebody brings something of emotions up, you reroute it to like, okay, yeah, but remember, we need to do this, this, and this. Like, you want to start recognizing within yourself how you do that, because there is a part of you that wants validation from the world. And this confuses you, because validation from the world requires vulnerability, because not everybody's going to like you. But at the same time, there is a part of you that kind of hopes that you can just get it by working really hard, and your accomplishments speak for that validation. But something within you wants more. This, many people that have Cancer North Node can end up damaging a lot of relationships, because you, without meaning to, by getting to your goal, you may disregard other people, and especially at work, you may disregard your teammates' input. You may not care. We're not going to do it your way, we're going to do it my way. Why? Because I already know how to do it, I'm in control. And you disregard other people. That breaks connection, and that can lead for you to feel lonely. As you feel lonely, you want more admiration from the outside, and then you push more towards your goal. And to break the habit, it's sometimes just to be, and to begin to listen and pay attention. What are other people telling me that they're feeling and that they need from me? Not what do I think I need to give them. So it's a lot of introspection in human relationship with Cancer in the North Node. When it comes to relationships, you have a deep desire of having a stable foundation. There is a part of you that wants to find home, and that can be in a relationship, having somebody to come home to that is also going to be stable and reliable, and it's going to care for you. You want that so much, but you don't allow it to happen a lot of the times. You interrupt it by finding a problem with it, by wanting to change maybe the other person, by putting too much control. And as a result, you may push those people away. And it leads you into the cycle that I was speaking earlier of I'm feeling lonely. I need more love and admiration. Let me do more. Or I find, and this is the thing, because you have suppressed your passions for a long time. When you meet somebody that awakens your passion, it's strong for you to the point where you may be afraid of your own passion because you don't know exactly how to project it or how to share it with others. That is why it's so interesting, because the more you let yourself be you, the more you let yourself feel the variety of emotions almost like a child would and be vulnerable, the more balance you start feeling, because now there's no extreme like let's just work or intense passion or I need to control. It's just I'm able to be responsible. I'm able to care for what I need to take care of. I'm able to take action, but I'm able to be loving. I'm able to connect with my emotions. And you find that perfect balance. But until you do, there may be lessons where you potentially could lose people that you really love simply because you're trying to learn how not to control and now just love. Another interesting thing when it comes to relationships is that you have very clear boundaries within yourself, within your mind. You know where your boundaries are. You have that clarity and you stick to it. But if somebody like hurts you or disrespects you, you don't even want to get into the emotions of it. You don't want to. You know your boundary was just crossed. You know you don't like it. And you may not necessarily say anything straight to that person, but you're going to go complain about it to other people. You're going to go and tell everybody else, look what that person did to me. Like it's wrong. It's clearly wrong. And learning to be able to bring it up to the people that hurt you in a respectful way, because you've done nothing wrong necessarily. If it's just a boundary that has been crossed, is going to allow you to learn that it's safe to build relationships, even if there's confrontation, even if it could hurt other people's feelings, even if your feelings could get hurt. It will always work out better for you if you have the ability in a respectful, simple way to express it to the person that crossed that boundary. Because then you're learning it is safe to be vulnerable. It is safe to express how I feel. Instead of the other way around, I'm hurt. I'm not going to say anything to that person, but I need to get it out somewhere. So I'm going to go complain about them with somebody else. So that is another way of being able to use relationships to feel more comfortable with others. This is very important because when you don't communicate with others and learn to express where you stand and how you feel and how their actions affected you, you will naturally internalize their emotions. So if somebody's upset, you may not even ask like what happened, why are you upset, what, you just internalize it. Now I'm upset too. Somebody's sad, now I'm sad too. But you don't show your part. You just keep it inside it. And then just imagine the toll that that takes on you. And then that's what leads you to find the next goal to get working again and be distracted. So understanding that you have emotions, other people have emotions, but you don't have to internalize what others feel allows you to be safe with others. That's why for you, it is very healthy to be around friends and people and partners that understand emotions. Like you would benefit for somebody that doesn't feel shocked about you being disappointed. It's like, instead of like, oh my God, why? What did I do? It's, how do you feel? What happened? Just like allowing you to feel without judgment, just a neutral, like emotions are not good or bad. Are just information in our nervous system. It allows us to understand the experiences of life. Emotions are information. Sometimes they feel so good inside. We call it joy. We call it love. Sometimes it feels painful. We call it sadness, disappointment, anger. We call them a bunch of things, but it doesn't mean anything bad. It's part of being human. And you have the ability to master emotions more than anybody else. You came here with that gift. People think that Capricorn North Node people don't feel. No, you actually feel too much. You do feel. And that is why you're like, I don't want to deal with that. But it's your gift now. And that makes you automatically so magnetic to people the moment you own the way that you feel. People will feel safe with you. You become that home that many people are searching for. Not your responsibility to carry that role, but meaning you become a safe person. And that is something that has no value, like it's priceless, put it that way. Like there's nothing can buy a person that makes you feel safe when you're feeling vulnerable and have an emotion. And with that said, it's so important to acknowledge that you have so much integrity, like you genuinely care to do the right thing. You have a level of experience that in life about responsibility that many people in this life admire because they are trying to find that it is okay. You want to give yourself permission to let go, to not rush the process of anything, to not look for the next goal, to enjoy the process of what you're doing now. Anytime that you find yourself in that, like not thinking and just doing, deep breath and remind yourself, I'm already an expert at doing. How do I feel? And bring it back to the emotions. That's kind of the basics of Cancer North Node. If you are a Cancer North Node, I will invite you to put it in the comments for me. Let me know in what house do you have it. And if you have any other questions about anything I mentioned, let me know in the comments. I highly encourage you to read the book, Astrology for the Soul. And with that said, that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.